Hello students, in today's class we are going to start the chapter statistics, which is very interesting, where we have went through about this concepts in our previous classes itself, that is in class 9. We know what is the measures of central tendency. What are all the measures of central tendency? What are all the measures of central tendency? Mean, median and mode, and we have learnt about all the three in our class 9, but we have restricted ourselves and we have found all these mean, median and mode only for ungrouped data. So in class 10 we are going to find mean, median as well as mode for the grouped data. As you know already, this chapter doesn't need any logical thinking. Only if you know the formulae and if you are good in your manipulation skills, you can very well get through with this chapter and you can score more marks. This is actually a mark scoring chapter. First, let us see how to find the mean of a grouped data. Right? As of now, according to your syllabus, they have restricted only two methods. They have omitted another method called step deviation method from your 2021 syllabus. So let us restrict to direct method and assumed mean method. We know very well mean is denoted by the symbol x bar, right? So in direct method, the formula to find mean x bar is equal to summation fi xi divided by summation fi. What is this f? F stands for frequency. We know already. X are the observations. Just know about the formula. Let me explain with an example so that you will get a better clarity. Next is assumed mean method, where x bar is a plus summation fd divided by summation f, where a is the assumed mean and d is x minus a. There is a slight difference between direct method and assumed method. As I told you, when I explain it with an example, you will get a better clarity. Let us see an example. Let me explain with an example. For example, consider the marks obtained and the number of student. Right? Marks obtained by 30 students of class 10 in mathematics paper consisting of 100 marks are presented in a table below. So this is an example of a ungrouped data, right? This we learnt in our previous class 9. What we will do if we have a question like this, immediately we will form another column of a table, named it as fi xi. These values are x values, these values are frequencies. We will find fx, in the sense we will multiply each f with x and we will find another column of the table called fi xi, and we will find the sum of all these values. That will give you summation fi xi, and this will give you summation fi. What is this I? I is just an index notation. Instead of telling f1, f2, f3, we are denoting it as fi, where I varies from 1 to n values, right? So after finding this, what is our mean? X bar is summation fi xi divided by summation fi. This is a method which we will adopt in for ungrouped data. Now we are going to deal with the grouped data, right? Grouped data with the frequency distribution. What is meant by grouped data? This is called a grouped data. When we have the intervals, class intervals with the frequencies, we will call it as a grouped data. Why we need a grouped data? When we see the ungrouped data, the data is so lengthy. So to improvise our calculations, to improvise our calculation procedures, we are making it as a grouped data. Instead of mentioning 10, 20, 36, 40, we are going to club it into a range. Right, like this, like class intervals, 10 to 25, 25 to 40, 40 to 45. Likewise, we are going to make it as a range, and accordingly the number of students we will add and write. So this is called a grouped data. So now we are going to learn how we can find the mean of a grouped data. If we have x values, we can directly multiply x and f to get our summation fxi. Right? As I told you, we have two methods. One is direct method and the other one is assumed mean method. Even though the direct method formula is same as we perform for ungrouped data. Here we don't know which will stand the values of x, right? There we had x values separately, but here we have only class intervals. Then which value we will take it as x? For that, what we should do is we should find our class mark. What is our class mark? Upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2, which is nothing but the average, right? Upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2, which means 10 plus 25 divided by 2, 25 plus 40 divided by 2, 40 plus 55 divided by 2. That will form your x values. See, your class marks, we will call it as a class mark, which is nothing but upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. That will form your class mark. That will stand as your x values. Now already f values is given in the question. So now you know how to calculate your fi, xi. Multiply each value and form the next column of your table and just substitute in the formula. That will give your mean x bar. Yes, hope you understood. This method is called direct method. What are we doing here? The only step extra what are we performing here is find your x values. How we will find our x values? By class mark. Class mark is the upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Right? Hope you understood. Next, what are we going to see is assumed mean method. Assumed mean method is just the extension or the simplification of the direct method. What are we going to do here is we are going to assume. See, the same problem they have done it in a assumed mean method. What are they doing here? Till this class mark the procedure is same. And what is the formula for assumed mean method? X bar is going to be a plus summation fi di divided by summation f. We have a new notation here, a and d. What is this a and what is this d? Once we know our d, we can very well multiply with f and find our summation fd, right? And once we know our a, we can write what is a. But how we can find our d? D is x minus a. So ultimately, if you know what is our a, we can find d. Once we know d, we can find fd and we can find its summation and we can substitute in this formula and get our answer. Right? So all lies on choosing your a. What is this a? A is assumed mean. We are going to assume our mean from the x values. Right? What is our mean actually? The middlemost value of the observation. So we are going to assume out of our xi values any one value as our a. It doesn't matter, you may choose 47.5 as your a and your friend may choose 62.5 as the a, but the value of a which you are going to choose is independent of the answer, mean what are you going to get. It doesn't have any role to play with your answers, calculations, right? But mutually anyhow, if we are going to subtract that a, with the formula we are adding that a again. So we are subtracting and adding. So without changing the value of the problem, we are performing some calculations over there in order to make our calculations simpler. That's it. So without this d, the calculations has become more in our previous method because we multiplied big numbers with f. But right, to find our fi xi. But when we assumed our a, the numbers have become easier so that your calculation has become much more easier than your direct method. Maybe the steps involved may be more than your direct method, but the calculation part will be easier than your direct method. Yes, let us come back to this. What we did here, we have to assume the value of a. Normally, we will choose the middle value of this x values. When you have even number of values, we cannot choose our middle value, right? So, in that case, you can choose either the third one or the fourth one. Any one you can choose among the middlemost two. Any one you can choose, it doesn't matter. If you have odd numbers, we will go with the middle value. Right. So d is going to be xi minus that a. Here they have taken it as 47.5. So xi minus 47.5. So with each xi we are going to subtract our 47.5. Yes, so 17.5 minus 47.5 going to be minus 30, 32.5 minus 47.5 going to be minus 15, 47.5 minus 47.5 is 0. Likewise, we have to perform. So this gives our D. Once we know our D, we can very well find what is our FIDI. Don't blindly do your calculations. We have to multiply the frequency with our D. Don't multiply X with D, okay? F with D. So if you multiply F with D, we will get our FIDI. You may get negative numbers, don't worry. So after finding a summation FIDI, we can directly substitute in our formula. What is our formula? A. What is our A value? 47.5 plus summation FIDI value divided by summation F. That will give your mean. And if you see both the methods, we will get the same answer. Here also X bar is going to be 62. There also X bar is 62. So it doesn't matter in which method are you going to find the mean. You can adopt your own comfortable method. But when you have bigger values, it is advisable to go with assumed mean method to make your calculations simpler. Right? When you have small numbers, you can go with direct method. These are the two methods to find our mean. Hope you understood. Let us solve problems from the exercise so that you will get more clarity. Now let us see question number 1. A survey was conducted by a group of students as a part of their environment awareness program, in which they collected the following data regarding the number of plants in 20 houses in a locality. Find the mean number of plants per house. They have given you a data. Which method did you use for finding the mean and why? We have two methods, direct and the assumed mean method. You can go with the direct method because the numbers are simple, which means small. So you can directly go with the direct method. Hope you can do it. From this, what is direct method formula? X bar is equal to summation Fi xi divided by summation F. Once you find your xi how you will find the class marks. Once you know your xi, we can multiply with Fi and then you can proceed with your calculations. Now, hope you can do this. Let us move on to our second question. Consider the following distribution of daily wages of 50 workers of a factory. Find the mean daily wages of the workers of the factory by using an appropriate method. Mostly in your question paper, they won't specify find the mean using this method. Mostly they won't. If at all, you have to adopt to that method, or else you can go with your own wish. As I told you, if the numbers are little bigger, it is advisable to go with the assumed mean method rather than your direct method. So second problem is also to find the mean. They asked you to use an appropriate method. Since the numbers are seems to be little bit bigger, we will go with the assumed mean method. I'll show you how to solve this problem now. See, this is what the question given. Daily wages in rupees and number of workers. Daily, kindly tabulate it neatly, present it neatly so that you can avoid confusions during your calculations, because exam time, remember, you will be doing in hurry. If you don't do it in a proper tabulation, you will get confused which values you need to multiply. For this value, you will take this value and multiply. If a single value gets messed up, then the entire problem will go wrong. So kindly tabulate it in a proper way. Right? Now daily wages is given in the question and number of workers is given in the question. Number of workers denote your frequency. Now immediately we need our class mark xi. Right? What is xi? Upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. 100 plus 120 divided by 2, which is nothing but the middle value. What is the middle value for 100 and 120? 110. 120 and 140? 130. 140 and 160? 150. 160 and 180? 170. 180 and 200, it is 190. Or else you can use the formula upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. So 100 plus 120 is going to be 220. 220 divided by 2 is 110. Right? Or else easily you can write the middle value. That is going to give your xi. Now I am going to use assumed mean method. then immediately we need the values for D. D is x minus A, xi minus A. What is your A? I told you, you can assume any one value among your x values. Mostly we will go with the middlemost value. So I am assuming 150 as my A. So we need to subtract each x value from A, xi minus A. In spite of whether A is greater than x or less than x, it is going to be x minus A only. Why am I stressing in this? Because you may get negative values. Don't bother. Your formula is x minus A, not A minus x, x minus A. So what is your x value? 110 minus 150. 150 is greater number. So you have to subtract and put the greater number sign. So it will be minus 40. 130 minus 150 is going to be minus 20. 150 minus 150 is going to be 0. 170 minus 150 is going to be plus 20. 190 minus 150 is going to be plus 40. Right? Almost D value will become 0 only. Don't bother about it because we don't need summation D for our calculation. Next, what are we going to find? Fi Di. In the sense, we need to multiply Fi values with Di values. In between xi values, we don't need. Right? Fi with Di. So, 12 into minus 40, you will get minus 4 12s are 48 into 1 more 0. So, minus 480. Then 14 into minus 20 is going to be minus 280. 8 into 0 is going to be 0. 6 into 20, which is 120. 10 into 40, which is 400. I repeat, we have multiplied F column with D column. F-I-D-I. Don't blindly multiply with X. Right? So, once we have done our tabular column, find what is FIDI. You have to add all these values. You may get a negative answer. Don't bother. You may get a negative answer. It may differ from problem to problem. So, add all the negative numbers, add all the positive numbers and then subtract and put greater number sign. Or else you perform as you wish. But be proper with your addition and subtraction of integers. To avoid calculation error, add all the negative numbers together, add all the positive numbers together and then subtract so that you can avoid error. Or else you can do directly. So we got, I have done like this, minus 480 plus 400, we will get minus 80. Then minus 80 minus 280, it will be minus 360. Then you have to add 120 with it. So anyhow you can perform. So after manipulation, we got minus 240 is our answer. And we need summation Fi. If I add all the F values, I am getting as 50. Now substitute in our formula. What is our x bar? A plus summation Fi di divided by summation Fi. A value is 150. So 150 plus summation Fi di is minus 240 divided by summation Fi is 50. 0, 0 will get cancelled. 24 if I divide by 5, I will get minus 4.8. Plus into minus is minus. If we subtract, we are getting 145.2. This is our mean. Yes, hope you understood. This is assumed mean method. If you want to perform, the same problem using direct method, what we will do, we won't be having this D column. After this xi column, directly Fi(xi). You have to multiply these two numbers, get your Fi(xi) column, add those values and divide that number by the summation Fi, you will get your answer. In that way also you will get the same number as your answer. But imagine when you want to multiply Fi with xi, your calculations will become more because your x is a bigger number compared to your D. Right? So when you have a bigger number, kindly go with assumed mean method. Yes, hope you understood. So let us move on to our next question. See the next question. The following distribution shows the daily pocket allowance of children of a locality. The mean pocket allowance is rupees 18. Find the missing frequency F. So this problem is slightly differ from the remaining. Normally asked problem is finding the mean, right? Find what is the mean, what is the mean. But here they asked you to find the missing frequency. They have given you what is the mean. Mean is 18. They asked you to find the missing frequency. It is like mere solving our linear equation. The answer is given and one unknown variable is given. Perform the same procedure and see, keep that f alone as f whenever you are having that value in your calculation part, and then bring all the known values to the other side to get the value of your f. Let us see how can we do this. See, this is what the question given. Daily wages I have tabulated, f values. I found what is the class mark in between values, middlemost values of these, and I have assumed 18 as my A. So we need to subtract x from A. 12 minus 18 minus 6, 14 minus 18 minus 4, 16 minus 18 minus 2, 18 minus 18 0, 20 minus 18 2, 22 minus 18 4, 24 minus 18 6. Again and again I am insisting, kindly be careful while subtracting because you may get negative numbers. Don't blindly subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Your formula is x minus a in spite of x value, right? Now we need to find FIDI, f with d. You have to multiply. 7 6 are 42, so it is going to be minus 42. 6 4s are 24 minus 24. 9 2s are 18 minus 18. 13 into 0 is 0. F into 2 is going to be 2f. Keep it as such. 5 4s are 20. 6 4s are 24. Now we need to add all our FIDI and all our FI. Right? Now plus 24 minus 24 will get cancelled. Keep this 2f as such. So add the numerical values and write plus 2f. Add all the numerical values and write plus 2f. And when you are having summation f, keep this f as such. So add all the numerical values and write plus f. Right? So if we add, we got minus 40 plus 2f. Similarly here 44 plus f. Now what is our x bar formula? A plus summation fd by summation f. A we have chosen it as 18. So 18 plus summation fd is minus 40 plus 2f divided by summation f is 44 plus f. And this side x bar, it is given in the question as 18. So it is 18. Now let us perform our calculation. 18 minus 18 is going to be 0, right? I brought this 18 to other side. So 18 minus 18 is going to be 0. So now we have 0 is equal to minus 40 plus 2f divided by 44 plus f. Now we need to bring the entire denominator to the other side. 0 into anything is going to be 0 only. So this entire denominator will become 0 is equal to minus 40 plus 2f. Now I am going to bring this minus 40 to other side. So it is going to be plus 40 is equals to 2f. So f is 40 divided by 2, which is 20. Therefore the missing frequency is 20. Yes, hope you understood. This is mere calculation and the basic solving a linear equation. Right? This is how only you have to perform in finding the missing frequency. Yes, hope you understood. Let us move on to our next question. Now let us see our fifth question. Fifth question is see, in a retail market, fruit vendors were selling mangoes kept in packing boxes. These boxes contained varying number of mangoes. The following was distribution of mangoes according to the number of boxes. Find the mean number of mangoes kept in a packing box. Which method of finding the mean did you choose? So if you analyze the data given, the intervals are not continuous. 50 to 52, 53 to 55, 56 to 58. If you see one value is missing out. We have seen problems of this kind in our previous classes. If the things are not continuous, what we will do? We will subtract 0.5 with the lower limit and we will add 0.5 to the upper limit to make it continuous, right? So after performing the operation, you can proceed your problem as similar to the previous problems. See here, what I have done is I have subtracted 0.5 with our lower limit and added 0.5 with our upper limit. So this will become 49.5. This will become 52.5. If I subtract 0.5, it will become 52.5. This will become 55.5. Yes, likewise you can do. Now the things have become continuous, and anyhow that there is not going to be much change, but still you have to perform this in order to keep your width equal and the interval as continuous, right? And the remaining things are same. The frequencies does not going to change, so the same frequencies. And xi, how we will find out? We will add these two and divide by 2, class mark. 49.5 plus 52.5 divided by 2, which is going to be same as 50 plus 52 divided by 2. So it is going to be 51, 54, 57, 60, 63. Right? With the mean, it doesn't have much changes, but with the other central tendencies, it will affect the values. That's why we will make it continuous, right? But anyhow, whether it is going to be mean, median or mode, if the intervals are not continuous, make it continuous by using this procedure and then perform your usual calculation. Then after finding xi, fix your a, find your d and then find fi di, multiply fi with the di's, find summation fi di, summation f, substitute in your formula, you will get your answer, right? Except for this step, remaining procedures are same, right? So in today's class, we have learnt how to find our mean for the given grouped data, right? And we have seen two methods. One is direct method and the other one is assumed mean method. Hope you understood. So with this, let us wind up today's class. Do these problems as a homework, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me. In the next class, we will see how to find the mode and the median. Thank you, students.